G'day, it's Simon and James at a perfect, crazy, unbelievable South OC Cars and Coffee. The weather is as good as it has ever been. We have got a ton of cars, we got some VIPs. What's going on, James?
We have some cool stuff here today. So we have the guys from DDE behind us with their GT1 Murcielago. What else did they bring? They brought a Bentley, they brought a bunch of stuff, really, really cool cars. We have probably the biggest truck that I've ever seen in the supercar overflow lot. We have an R34 M-Spec Newer 2, I think. Just a ton of really, really good stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, and a ton of people as well enjoying this perfect Southern California weather. Hey, don't forget, if you come to South OC Cars and Coffee, please remember, respect our rules, no speeding, no revving, no burnouts. That includes getting on the streets of San Clemente and on and off those freeways as well. Mate, we've got a ton to do and not a lot of time to do it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Very special guest joining us today, Damon from DDE. Mate, always great to have you here.
Pleasure. It's a great turnout again today. Beautiful day here in Southern California.
Yeah, we've nappily organised good weather.
I know, it is. You got it dialed in, to be honest.
Well, actually, if you were here last weekend, you couldn't see in front of you because of fog, but we won't talk about that. You guys have been as busy as anything. You've been on the Gumball Rally.
Yeah, Southeast Asia.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about that before. The way you were talking about the level of excitement kind of reminded me of the old days of rally where everybody's just on the road and nobody really cares.
It's absolute chaos.
Yeah.
So at the start grid in Saigon in Vietnam, it was probably to the tune of 80,000 people.
Wow.
And when you leave the start grid, there's a point where the stanchions that are holding people back so the cars can get out, that ends.
Gosh.
And people surround your car. To the point where like people are standing this close.
Oh, that's scary.
And you can't see, and I actually drove my SVJ I shipped halfway across the world into a curb because I couldn't see where I was going. Minimal damage, but chaos.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's what makes it fun.
It's the whole difference, a different culture, a different reaction.
Yes.
People that don't get the chance. I mean, here we take it for granted. Every week we do this show. Every week we get cool cars show up. But over there, that's
very
pretty
rare.
special.
It's very rare.
Oh, that's cool. And you've got another one of your DDE open houses coming up on the 2nd.
Yeah, November 2nd, 7:30 to 9:30. It's free, spectators welcome. And we just ask that you be respectful when you come to our neighborhood. Park out along the streets and come on in and watch the chaos.
Excellent. Make sure to go and do that. And you brought a kind of a cool car, as you always do. What have we got with us today?
Well, today it's a 2003 factory manual Murcielago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I've always wanted to do a specific build to a Murcielago.
Yep.
And that is to replicate a street version using the real GT1 parts from the race cars.
What, you actually got hold of the real parts?
These are genuine parts.
Wow.
And actually from an endurance racing Mercy over in Germany.
Wow.
And it's cool because they only made a handful of them. So
Yep.
a company called Ryder Engineering over in Germany built 9 Murcielagos. They're all kind of a little different depending on what classification the car was racing in.
Yep.
And this is an endurance racing Murcielago Ryder front end, which is all carbon fiber. So it's got the big splitter, the wider bumper. It's a full wide body conversion.
Yep.
Triple louvers. It's got the carbon built-in headlights. We have the yellow for like that GT1 or almost GT3 class.
Yep.
So yeah, it was 5 years in the making.
So, got to ask you this, because you spend a lot of your time driving newer exotics.
Yes.
What's it like getting back into something like this? Is it agricultural and rough, or is it more visceral and exciting?
It's more visceral and exciting, and it's my favorite car. If I had to sell everything and keep one car, this is the car.
Oh, that's
This
awesome.
is the one car. In fact, it's not the fastest car by any means. It's not the best handling car by any means, but it is the most exciting car and most engaging car to drive.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think a lot of the cars are getting so much faster, so much horsepower. Manufacturers, and they're integrating things like hybrid systems. They have to integrate some nanny control so people don't go and kill themselves.
Oh.
But the more of that they apply to a car, the less you feel like you're engaged, and the less, as a driver, you're one with the car.
Yeah, I agree. So this car does have a form of traction control.
Right.
It's so bad that you actually, if you want to drive it, you really should just turn it off when you get in the car.
Yep.
And it has no stability control. So when I drive this car, I actually drive it with nothing.
Yep.
So you do need to know what you're doing and not be a complete idiot.
Yeah.
The weight's in the back, so if you really send it, that weight's gonna send you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a beautiful car and it's a lot of fun. And if you do take it to a track day, it is actually a handful, which makes it really exciting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, mate, great to have you here as always. And Dave as well, who's over there.
Yes.
Enjoy yourself at the show and hope the open house goes well.
It's going to go great. And I just want to give a huge shout out to actually the people who helped build this for me. So a guy by the name of Dean, who's a part of the car community down here, he has a Murcielago. He just reached out, was a fan of the channel, loves building crazy stuff.
Yep.
He's actually the one that sourced all of my front end parts from Germany. He had some contacts. I don't know how he found this stuff. I've been trying for years. And then put me in contact with a shop up in Los Angeles called DTM Auto Body.
Right.
They did this. It's all molded in, all converted, done properly. They did this in just 6 weeks.
Wow, that's insane.
It's actually insane. So thanks to them, thanks to Ron at AR Motorworks who made the custom BBS wheels on here. It just takes a lot of people to make a dream come true. It's not all on me. It's, you know, I paid the bills, I had a bit of a vision, but at the end of the day, it took all those guys and then of course Protective Film Solutions for wrapping it, making it look cohesive. So thanks to everybody.
Excellent, mate. Great to have you along.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Starting off strong with two very rare cars. Firstly, the Mercedes SLR McLaren, a beautiful car. Love the styling of this, and for something that came out in the early 2000s, I think it's just such a well-aged car. You can see these crazy, almost turbine-style wheels. Of course, that fender exit exhaust, red interior, absolutely love it. Next to the Mark II or Mark III, I'm not sure which one it is, Ford GT. This car looks absolutely tremendous. Looks so good. What a beautiful car. You can see the V6 turbo hybrid. What a beautiful set of cars. Here we have Jack Ultramotive out here this morning with his awesome 997. If you guys are following his YouTube channel, you'll know that he picked this up in a crazy condition. It had a gnarly wing on it. It was all mismatched. The paint was all crazy on it, and now he's done a phenomenal job. Drove all the way out here from Arizona on a really cool set of work wheels. Tons of aero on this car. You can see it has a really cool duckbill on the back. What an awesome setup he's done with this car. Here we have a stunning 992 Turbo S. Absolutely love the spec on this car. You can see it has a ton of options, that carbon roof, the PTS baby blue, the carbon ceramics with those massive brake calipers on there, and the all black interior with those yellow seat belts. Just a very pretty car. Absolutely timeless. Here we have a Gen 5 Viper in the front row this morning. Absolutely love the color on this. Just such a cool spec. A GTS model. You really can't beat the 8-liter V8 in this. I think it's actually an 8.4 made it to a 6-speed manual. Just such a raw driving experience, I'm sure. Tons of carbon fiber on it. Love the brown interior. Just a very cool car. Here we have a very nicely spec'd 991.1 GT3 RS. So this color seems to be very popular on the 992s, but on the 991s, I don't think I've ever seen actually one of these kind of darker grays, but it really suits this car. You can see it has those buckets on the inside, carbon ceramics, really cool fender vents on there. Just a very pretty car. Someone's done a very good job of this. Here we have Uzi's absolutely stunning R34 with a beautiful Millennial Jade paint on there. God, this thing is cool. Millennium Jade has to be one of my favorite colors on this car. Of course, it's bright hand drive. Gorgeous set of AL13 wheels on here with the Nismo logo in there. You can see it has that really cool radiator in the front. It's just such a good looking car. This one is a 2002, and from my understanding, it seems to be a pretty special edition. You can see the exposed carbon on the back here. It is an M-Spec newer, so this thing is really rare. What a cool car. Here we have Ryan Edge's crazy 600 LT. It has a full Darwin Pro Kit on the front. And if you walk up to it, you can see it actually is full exposed carbon fiber. Very cool. Omnique is his company. They make these cool reflective windshield films. You can see it has that massive wing on the back, the BBSs, and I think this thing makes around 11 or 1200 wheel. So it is an absolute rocket. And then finishing off the exotic row, we have two very different vehicles. First of all, we have Dave from DDE with his beautiful Bentley. Very neat. I believe it's a 4-liter V8 in this, so this thing must absolutely fly. And then next to it, probably the biggest truck that I've ever seen, a lifted Escalade truck. You can see it has it's a dually, so it has the two wheels in the back. Someone's put some crazy time and money into this. What a cool build. Absolutely huge.
So here's something we haven't seen at the show before. This is the brand new MG. Of course, MG originally a British brand. It's obviously been taken over since a couple of times, but this is actually an electric roadster I know in the UK is going to sell for around £60,000, which is a ton of money, but it's called the Cyberster. It looks like it's beautifully finished. I mean, it's got a really nice, almost like an Alcantara style interior, nice steering wheel, but it is electric. And if you think of what MG started off in those early days, especially the MGA, the MGB, they were all about being lightweight. They were all about being very nimble, a bit like the Miata is these days. So as you can tell, Chinese brand obviously these days, I think it's a nice looking car. I think it's obviously there's a market for it, but £60,000, which would equate to probably 80,000 American for a Chinese electric roadster. There's a lot of things that I would put in my driveway before I would put this, but that's my personal opinion. I'm sure they're going to do really, really well. Having been to China earlier this year, there's some amazing looking cars coming out of that market. Brands like Build Your Dreams, other vehicles that are sort of really nice looking cars. This is one of them. And it's always great to see new cars at the show. But there you go. This is the MG Cyberster.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up now.
I know I've talked about this C10 before, but every time I see it, I just want to give this thing some love. It's just such a great looking truck. First of all, the colour, it is just beautiful. This sort of dark, sort of mid-grey blue, like a ton of grey in the blue, which is beautiful. Under the hood, LS, I'm guessing it's probably an LS3 high-rise manifold. It could be any of the LS, it's a bit hard to tell just from looking at it, but really nice brake setup. The interior is what I really love. It's got this black and sort of same blue sort of plaid interior, which is super nice. Nice steering wheel, nice instrumentation and gauge cluster, and then the bed's been raised up so that it can run on air ride, which is obviously built up underneath it so it can be dumped way down in the weeds. And look at the side exhaust on this thing as well. Really, really tastefully done. I think this thing is just magnificent. Turns lots of heads. Even if you look at the crash pad on the dash, it's got the same colour blue stitching in it. So very, very tasteful. Certainly one of my favourite trucks we get at the show. Very nice. Equally as cool, check out this GMC. So this thing is running an LSA under the hood. So that's the motor that you would have found in a CTS-V or a ZL1 Camaro. Great motor, supercharged, 6.2 litre. Out of the gate normally about 620-ish horsepower, but this thing looks amazing as well. The patina is beautiful, the wheels are beautiful. I love the fact they haven't tried to restore any of that patinaed chrome on the bumper. Under the hood looks like the thing could be brand new. It's got the fluids are all nicely put in a container over there, Willwood brakes, just super clean wheels. In the weeds, nice trim as well, the way that's been done. It looks like sort of Alcantara in there. Nicer instrumentation, still got a column shifter, which is super cool as well, and what looks like a standard radio, and then modern instrumentation. Once again, the bed's been lifted so the thing can run on air ride. Got that cool looking wide side badge on it. Great to see two trucks like this side by side. A different take on building a truck, but man, they are so cool, both of them.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life
great sight seeing these two classic muscle cars side by side. First of all, this 69 running the bias ply radials on it with the red stripe on it, which is perfectly period correct. 396 big block in this 69, which is, I mean, it's a great motor. This thing looks like somebody has meticulously restored it. It's got all the original stencil marks that you would have seen from the factory, all the original wiring, the original brake booster, radiator cap, even the original Delco battery, which is maybe one of the covers they actually made to make them look like the actual batteries of the era. But this thing is super clean. You look at the interior, it's got that wonderful sort of cloth insert that was available, running a Hurst shifter, so most likely a Muncie in this thing because of the area. But just look at the hubcaps, the trunk is perfect. Got the original spare wheel in there, got the jack in there, got the original stickers up in here. Somebody's done a great job of this. I love that car. Next to it, Mustang 1970, so from 69 to 70, great looking car as well. The green is just absolutely amazing. 302 as well, Boss 302. This was a great era of cars. I think it was my favourite era of muscle cars. When you could get things like that from Ford, things like that from Chevy, and then of course all the different Challengers and Chargers and everything else that was available from Mopar. It was an amazing era of muscle cars. It's only really been recreated, I don't know, about 10 years ago when we saw the return of the Challenger and the Charger and the improved Mustang and the Gen 5 Camaro, but unfortunately again those days are slipping away.
Fearless.
Well, this is not your ordinary Datsun Z car. I'm not sure if it's a 240 or 260. What I did notice as soon as I looked at it though, there is a Chevrolet small block sitting under the hood, and boy does it fit beautifully. It's also a long way back, so I don't know if they had to modify the firewall to get it in there. I don't think so. Actually, you think about it, a V8's probably shorter in length than an inline six, which is what this thing would have come with. But I bet this is fun. Nice looking radiator on there. The trim's got some really nice looking buckets. Still got that original sports steering wheel, which looks amazing. And then I noticed that the gauges have actually been updated, but still in the original gauge cluster there, which is great. 240Z. What a great looking little car. I bet that is a handful and fun to drive. How pretty is this Plymouth Satellite? Another car you don't see every day. You see Challengers and Chargers and Darts and all those sort of things, but not many satellites. So when you see one, take a moment to appreciate it, because it's a really cool looking car. Just that classic style of the era. Pennsylvania plates on this thing as well. Beautiful colour, lovely interior that matches it as well. Isn't that great? Now this unusual looking car is a Studebaker Gran Turismo, and the thing about Studebakers, and I guess no wonder they didn't survive as a company, their designs were always quite polar. You look at them, you could tell they were trying to lean into that sort of gear design cues, but then they'd go and do some things which, well, the front end, there's no other way to describe that. That is so Edsel-ish, it's not funny. We know what the world thought of the Edsel, but lots of things that other manufacturers had gone away from. So when you looked at what the other major US manufacturers, GM, Mopar Group or Chrysler Group, Ford, they'd gone away into these long slender lines and away from the fins and everything. But Studebaker for some period of time kept doing things like pronounced headlight cups, as you can see there, and just sort of prominent areas like the swept back window and even the fins that you see in the back through here. People either loved them because they felt they looked prestigious, or they hated them and they felt they looked old-fashioned. The cool thing is though, we can still look at a car like this today and really appreciate it, and the fact that somebody's bought this thing, loves it, enjoys driving it. It is a very, very cool car, no matter whether you like Studebaker, like the history or not. The fact that this thing's still on the road is super cool in my opinion. I think we're going to have to rename this row in front of Nike Chevy truck row. Have a look at this. These are sort of like 3100 Chevy trucks. In Australia, we had a version called the Maple Leaf, which I believe was built in Canada. Our family farm actually had an 8-ton tip truck with exactly the same cabin on as this. The first three you're going to see, they're not so original. So this one under here, have a look under the hood. That's running a small block Chev. next to it, Iris, we've talked about this car before. This thing's super cool. Got the patina finish, but that's actually running an LS3 under there. So anything but original, especially when you look at the wheels, you look at the interior, and then a couple of my favorite things about this truck. Do you know originally these windows were higher than these windows? These were a bit shorter. So we actually extended that down. And then here's Ira here showing my third favorite feature. Look at that. So you actually, there's a little hidden pin under there that actually is spring loaded. So when you want to open it, you just push the pin. Good job, mate. Good job. Still rolling. What year's yours? 49, yeah. So rolling through as well, another one through here. Look how they've actually trimmed that whole dash. Doesn't have those ribs in it anymore. More modern interior in that guy. And then under the hood, running an LS3 also. And then this one over here, this is a later one. I'll show you why in a moment. This is a 3600, but this is probably, I'm guessing, around about a 52 gauging by. See how it's got the different front grille from the other ones? It doesn't have like 6 bars on it, but this is running that original engine, inline 6. It's got the oil-filled air cleaner on it as well. I've got the oil filter at the top here, which was made really, really easy to clean. These old motors were absolutely brilliant, reliable, just great to be able to work on. And then under here, there's that original looking dash of this era.
That is it for a perfect South OC Cars and Coffee. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Please remember, if you are coming to the show, respect our rules. No revving, no speeding, no burnouts. That includes on the property, getting on and off those freeways, and then of course on the streets of San Clemente. I want to give a massive thank you to all the sponsors. We have the brackets here, We're Marketing, Mazda, Meguiar's, iAccent Attorney, Next Level Auto Protection, Sierra, Ineos, Grenadier, Carbon Testing, Happy Jewelers, Beckworth Financial, and then of course Josh the Auto Buyer as well. And then I do want to say a huge thank you to all the volunteers that come out each and every week to help us put on this event. We could not do it without you guys. If you want to become a volunteer, hit us up on Instagram at South OC Cars and Coffee Merch. We handle all the volunteer rostering, and then while you're over there, check out hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, about everything that you guys could want from South OC Cars and Coffee. If you are volunteering, you get to bring your car in before 8:30, and then Ruby's Diner provides a free coffee and donut for everyone helping us out.
Yeah, big thank you to Ruby's for doing that and feeding the masses as well. And also a big thank you to the Outlets of San Clemente for allowing us to be here. We couldn't do the show without them, so remember, if you need to do some shopping, go to the movies, grab a coffee, restaurant, whatever, come to the Outlets, tell them South OC Cars and Coffee sent you. Well, that is it for a big Saturday here at South OC Cars and Coffee. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.